I am pleased to inform you that we have successfully landed on Tartarus. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
You're the backup, right? From Akande? Thank the law you're here. These bloodthirsty sprat bags have no respect for the law. We're pinned down. I don't understand either. It's not like I tortured them or anything. That was somebody else's job. You've got to help us. Please, kill them. Summary justice for the whole lot. Last we heard, he was in the pit. In order to get there, you're gonna have to go through the docks and down through the cargo yard. Bust through? Are you out of your mind? Those animals will tear us apart. Oh, law. You're right. Okay. Come on, guys. Rifles up. Let's kick these rung leeches out of our docking bay. For the chairman! Tartarus security out. Hang on. Is that another ship coming in? I think that's from the groundbreaker. Cripes, did that Tennyson woman really send reinforcements? Between you and the Mardettes, we may be able to retake the docks. Good luck out there, Captain.
Transmission terminated. How can I be of assistance? May luck be with you. Of course, as I am sure you are aware, luck does not exist. But it seems to comfort humans to believe they possess good quantities of it. I'll lock up behind you.
Take him down!
The captain did right by
What
us
was that?
once. Now it's our turn.
I'll take this one!
Forward for groundbreaker.
They're on us. Take your best shot.
What was that?
On your left, Captain!
Let's look around. There's gotta be a few ways through here.
Captain, look out!
Get him!
I got another fight in me. Their mistake. Here we go.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Practicing this. Just like that. Captain, behind you. I see you next. I got him. Not bad, huh? My kind of action. Anyone else? Here they come! Here we go! That was fun! Who's ready for more?
All right, NSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight!
Watch a pro at work! I like that! On your right, Cap!
We're really doing this, huh?
Hope you're right about this, Captain.
When I pulled you out of the Hope, I never imagined you'd turn me over to the board. Planting a bug in my terminal? That's low. We could have saved this colony, you know. That was always the plan. I revive you, you do as I say. I tell you to go there, get me this, shoot that, and you do as I say. If you'd just listened to me, we could have rescued everyone on the Hope. We could have been the saviors of Halcyon. But you didn't listen. No one in this damn colony ever listens. Ha! No, of course not. You're the board's lackey now. And isn't that just paying dividends? You're already the board's favorite agent. Just look at you. You're positively dripping with charm and style. What did they tempt you with, hmm? Power? Money? One of those fancy reclining chairs? Of course you do. You and your iron will. You've always been driven by powerful convictions. Once you set your mind to something, you are impervious to arguments. This is how the board operates. It's not enough that they should win. They must see me fail. Well, I haven't failed, do you hear me? I still have one last gambit. I've got Adjutant Akande here with me, and I'm going to put a bullet through her eye. If you insist on interfering, I will be forced to kill you, and I don't want that. So am I. I've programmed the Labyrinth's mechanical warden to kill you on sight. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I can't take any chances with you. You were my greatest success, and my greatest disappointment.
real slick.
Process.
Here I go! Got 'em all! Anyone else?
Thank the law you're here. That madman was out of control. You were right to put him down. He was too far gone to be of any use to us. And what about you? You aren't hurt, I hope. Why shouldn't I be interested in the well-being of my finest agent? Not to mention my most valuable investment. You've put down the worst riot in our history, rid the colony of a dangerous madman, and saved my life. The board owes you a tremendous debt. We don't have a moment to lose. We're gonna have to work together to save Halcyon, because the situation is far worse than you imagined. We've lost all contact with Earth. It's been 3 years since we've received a message. We've had no contact, no signals, nothing. Earth has gone dark. 2 years ago, the Earth Directorate's frigate disappeared en route to Earth. We don't know if they ever made it. We don't know if there's an Earth to go back to.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth was more than just some distant colonial authority, Dr. Fenhill. Earth was our lifeline. And now, we've been cut loose.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
You sound frightened, Miss Holcomb. You should be. Fear sharpens the mind. We're alone, Captain. That's all I know for certain. Whatever happens to this colony, we're going to have to deal with it on our own. Returning to Earth is not an option. Yes, we do have a long road ahead of us. But I have faith in you. The service you've done for this colony is nothing short of extraordinary. You're the reason I'm still standing here today. The board will survive because of you. And as the board goes, so goes Halcyon. It's time we carried out the program. I trust I can count on your support, Captain. I support your decision wholeheartedly. You've proven yourself the most capable leader in the colony. Now more than ever before, Halcyon needs strong leadership and a steady guiding hand. I look forward to serving as your adjutant. We're on our own now. Earth isn't coming to save us, so we're going to have to save ourselves.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The riots in Tartarus ended in a total victory for the board. Without any significant threats to challenge their power, the board asserted their control over the colony. The Lifetime Employment Program began immediately, and the people of Halcyon did exactly what they were expected to do. They obeyed. Sophia Akande converted the labyrinth from a prison to a processing center. She jettisoned the original colonists out of the Hope and transformed the ship into a massive storage facility. One by one, the workers of Halcyon surrendered themselves to the program. They arrived with their families and their friends, their colleagues and their neighbors, and then, one by one, they marched into their stasis chambers. As the workers of Halcyon slept in their hibernation chambers, their settlements became ghost towns, left behind by the Board to be reclaimed by nature. Only Byzantium remained, a shining beacon of civilization in an otherwise abandoned colony. The people of Byzantium spent the rest of their days gorging themselves on their stockpile of resources. As for the workers of Halcyon, they never felt the effects of the collapse. They never felt anything at all. As the Board began to enact the lifetime employment program, Sanjar and Zora brought another option to the townships of Terra 2. Many workers joined MSI, bolstering Sanjar's ranks and giving Zora more forces to work with. Though none of Sanjar's policies spread to Byzantium, many smaller townships that might otherwise have been shuttered thrived under his and Zora's combined leadership. Edgewater's cannery met its production quota for the first time in 3 years. As a result, the adjutant rewarded every worker in Edgewater with a place in the lifetime employment program. Reed Dobson was granted 25 years in suspended animation. However, a computing error adjusted his duration to 250 years. A trouble ticket to resolve this error remains open. While the Groundbreaker remained mechanically stable, the changing times forced Junlei Tennyson to make some difficult calls on behalf of her community. The work of maintaining independence was an uphill climb, and she found herself caving to bad faith compromises with the Board. Time will tell if the Groundbreaker can endure. As smaller settlements were swallowed up and their workers drafted into the lifetime employment program, Byzantium continued to thrive. While its citizens lived in decadence and extravagance, a small cadre of scientists worked to solve the nutrition crisis that threatened Halcyon. No one else much noticed the townships that disappeared from the map, or the luxuries that slowly lost their luster year by year. Ellie savored her adventures on the Unreliable. Once they were done, she returned to life as usual, running missions of dubious legality, shunning respectable work, and living life to the fullest. She meant to reach out to her one-time captain, but she was always bad at keeping in touch. As the Board reasserted control over Halcyon, Felix came to realize that his life as an upstart rebel had come to an end. The Board's victory crushed any hope for a grand revolution across Halcyon, and so Felix, once again, found himself without a purpose in life. And so, disillusioned with his former boss and with nowhere left to go, Felix left his crew without saying goodbye. He was never heard from again. As a reward for his part in her courageous rescue, the adjutant invited the vicar known as Max to become one of the leaders of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. Max eventually rose to the top, becoming the presiding bishop of the OSI. He denounced his spiritual meanderings as a misguided attempt to come to terms with his long-dead parents. His only regret was that they had not lived long enough to see that he was right all along. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. As the Board began to roll out their lifetime employment program, Parvati was plagued by dreams of freezing to death. She began taking increasingly longer shore leaves, and she eventually disappeared from the Unreliable entirely. The Board never knew what became of her, and under the adjutant's orders, they never tried to find out. Parvati was afforded a measure of peace and left to her own devices. As hard as she tried to drink them away, Nyoka's memories eventually overcame her. Traveling with the crew served as a constant reminder of the family she'd lost, and so she eventually returned to Monarch to get back to what she found most comfortable: the deep end of a bottle and the far end of a trail. Few have seen her since, but travelers often swear they hear her and her machine gun in the night, screaming swears and spitting bullets. Before his untimely death, Captain Alex Hawthorne had plans to restore and modify, for combat purposes, a sanitation and maintenance automechanical that he'd found in a state of disrepair in Emerald Vale's scrapyard. That unit remains broken down and forgotten in the unreliable supply closet to this day. Though Minister Clark was eventually released from house arrest, long years of isolation left him a changed man, little suited for bureaucratic work or for the colony that was changing around him. He remained in his estate largely by choice, fading from public view. Adjutant Sophia Akande was instrumental in executing the Lifetime Employment Program. Following the death of Chairman Rockwell, Sophia Akande served as the loyal adjutant to her former freelancer, now the most powerful person in Halcyon. With Halcyon's workers suspended in a state of hibernation, starvation and chaos are problems of the past. The Lifetime Employment Program succeeded in its goals, but that success came at a price. The Halcyon of today is nothing at all like the colony of yesteryear. Power remains concentrated in Byzantium, but all the colony's resources serve the lifestyle of the elite, thereby transforming Halcyon into one of the smallest and most exclusive colonies in the system. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus and proved yourself the most capable leader left in the colony. With Sophia Akande as your adjutant, you returned in triumph to Byzantium. All of Halcyon was yours. In time, you demonstrated a talent for leadership that far surpassed your predecessor, Chairman Rockwell. With your steady hand, you guided Halcyon through the turbulent years to follow and helped ensure the colony's survival. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.